In our final segment today, our final discussion today, we're going to talk about, this question got my attention, does your brand pass the personality test? It is written by Bob Baer. Bob is an author, speaker, and founder of More Power University. Bob Baer, B-A-R-E. I'm not exactly sure who published this because I'm not seeing a web design. Bob Baer was the author. It was posted by John Jantsch, J-A-N-T-S-C-H. We actually, this is the second day in a row we've talked about John and something he's blogged. John is the founder of Duct Tape Marketing. And it's a great book that you should read if you haven't read it. But today, does your brand pass the personality test? Consumers often seek out brands they like, know, and most importantly, trust. Those are three words you'll hear often as people talk about business, why somebody does business with you. They like you, they know you, they trust you. So what are the things that you can do so people will like you, know you, and trust you? Content on your landing page. Good content, meaningful content, not hype, but things where people can learn something. They get value. You hear me say this often. Your business idea, concept, product, service must bring value into somebody's life. That's why they're going to do business with you. One step further than the value that they bring, they're going to measure that value in what is their return on resource investment for their resource, the time they spend, the money they spend. What kind of return on resource investment do they get? When you can demonstrate value, when you can demonstrate return on resource investment, people will buy from you. It's critical to have your hands around those two things. That's what develops somebody knowing you, liking you, and trusting you. A brand's functionality is crucial, but the emotional benefit attached is equally important. Marketers help cultivate this consumer brand relationship by aligning their brand's identity with what customers aspire to be, the identity. The job is not always easy, but must be nurtured over time. To that point, the two brands that I wanted to build and establish were David's Barter and SmallBizDavid, which I learned I had to put in quotation marks. David's Barter, SmallBizDavid. They are brands. They suggest something. When people think of David's Barter, it's a community. It's a community of YouTube videos. It's a community of landing pages. It's a community where I know that if I go and I spend time in that community, I will get some value to my life. I'll learn something new. I will get a return on resource investment for the time that I spend. Creating an analogous situation to that. Over 500 million people, every day spend at least 3 hours in Facebook. That is one of the most awesome pieces of information I have ever read, heard, tried to understand. When you spend 3 hours in Facebook, do you get 3 hours of value? I suppose it's how you measure value. I spend as little time as possible inside of Facebook.com, but I am constantly sending content and information to my Facebook fan page, facebook.com// SmallBiz, SMBIZ. David's Barter as a brand, SmallBizDavid as a brand. Google them. Google both those terms, and you'll see the value of the search results. Incredible. Could you say something else? The best way to distinguish your brand's identity is to fully understand what the term really means. Definition of term. Your brand is what your company stands for and what it is known for. Think of it as a lifestyle, embodying the characteristics of a particular person, group, or culture. He goes on and asks the question, so as a marketer, how do you keep the flame alive and stop consumers from finding someone new, someone else's brand? How do you do it? What do you do? Brands have to show benefits. Start, and once again, this is Bob Baer speaking. Start by defining your brand's strengths and unique benefits. Starts with the benefit. Keep them coming back. How do you keep them coming back? You keep them coming back because you have great content, you have a great video. They know that when they come and spend time with you, they're going to bring some. You're going to give them some kind of value. They're going to take away some kind of value for their life, personally, or for their small business. One of the two. Experience is everything. Always remember that your brand is the experience customers take away when doing business with your company. When somebody does business with SmallBizDavid, and I spend less and less time in one-to-one, I spend virtually no time in one-to-one business situations, too busy building the community that will have 10,000 mentors of entrepreneurship, 10,000 community landing pages. That's what I'm spending time doing, so I don't spend the time one-on-one with companies like I used to. But today, if you would spend time one-on-one with me, you get the advantage of 40 years of experiences. That has value. To that point, and I just made this statement last week, if somebody said to me, David, I want to hire you for an hour. I want to pick your brain for an hour. I want to ask questions of you for an hour. What will it cost me? My standard answer is you better have deep pockets. It's going to cost you a lot. That's my humorous answer. A more realistic answer is if I had the time to spend with you one-on-one, it's not going to be an hour. It's going to be because you and I have defined a specific business objective, specific goals, specific dollar amounts tied to those goals and objectives. Very, very specific. We're going to write them down. I will hold myself accountable for achievement of those numbers. And because I'm willing to take that approach with you, because I am willing to get compensated on performance, not that you're going to give me an hourly rate. You don't have enough money to give me an hourly rate. Well, you have enough money, but you don't want to spend that much money for an hourly rate. But I'm going to take that time. We're going to establish an objective. We're going to achieve that objective. We're going to exceed that objective. And when we do, I have earned a percentage so that if our objective is $1,000, I'm telling you right now, at least $250 of that is going to be mine. And it all depends upon the objective. It all depends upon my abilities to achieve that objective. I might not be able to do it, and if I don't think I can achieve it, then I'll say, now I'm not for you. Find somebody else. I'm not the one for you. I've said that more than once in my life. I presented to a very, very large company one time. They were a Fortune 100 company. Actually, they called me in. They wanted to do business with me and the business interests that I represented at that time. They called me up. I didn't look for them. And I went and I did they asked me questions. They picked my brain for a couple hours. I gave them free. I let them pick my brain for free that time. Then at the end of the couple hours, they said to me, well, we want to do business with you. And here's how we want to do it. And I said to them, thank you for wanting to do business with me, but I will not be involved in it if that's the way you're going to do it, because I don't think that way is going to work. I really don't. And I can't get involved in something that I don't think is going to work right from the beginning. What? What are you saying? You don't want to work with us? It was actually the appliance division of General Electric. The appliance division. I don't even know if they still own that division. And I said, no. Do you hear what I'm saying? We're going to present this business opportunity for you. Da, da, da. And I said, thank you for that, but I can't do it the way that you want to do it. I don't think it's going to work. I'm a vice president of this company, and if you don't work with me, I'm going to tell all those vice presidents of our company, never to work with you again. And I said, well, if that's what you've got to do, that's what you've got to do, but I don't want to pursue something that I think is going to fail. You can pursue it, and obviously you want to pursue it. Go ahead. I just personally can't get involved. Okay. I had a brand to protect. I had a credibility to protect. I had my time to protect. I wasn't going to be pursuing a crazy idea. Experience is everything. Make messaging memorable. Just do it is a slogan that resonates with consumers beyond the sports enthusiasts. Make messaging memorable. Interesting to use the word messaging. You've heard me say that we do not support email of any sort in our community, either inbound email coming inside of our firewalls or outbound email leaving our firewalls. The only thing that we support in terms of communication is messaging. That's how we communicate with one another, and we have found that to be most efficient. We have found that, well, we have our own proprietary, and what is created as a message inside the community stays inside the community. It never leaves. Once again, moving towards that goal of privacy and security. That's how we communicate. Make messaging memorable. Consistency is key. Consistency is always key. Repetition is a must. Of course it is. If it works, you repeat it. If it doesn't work, repeat something else. Okay, here are 5 questions for the personality test. Once you've gone through all this litany of information, Bob Baer poses these 5 questions. Stay with me on these. And this will end our discussion for the day. Do you have a powerful and unique reason why your potential clients should invest with you instead of one of your top 3 competitors? Okay, well, the answer to that question is yes, you have to do that. I don't like the expression top 3 competitors. You know why? And I said this last week several times. I don't think about competitors. When anybody asks me who my competitors are, my standard answer always is, I have one competitor, and that competitor is myself. I will not give credence, give awareness, to somebody who I think is a competitor. I don't know if they compete with me. I don't care if they compete with me. That's fine. They do what they do. I do what I do. They have their way of doing things. I have my way of doing things. I don't care about the way that they do things. I only care about how I do it and can I achieve my goals and objectives. That's all that is important to me. Anytime somebody really wants to push you in a corner and talk about competitors, get away from that situation. You will never win the argument, the competitor argument, because then the argument becomes price. Well, Joe across the street, Mary across the street, they're only going to charge me 50 cents, what you're going to charge me $1. And my standard answer to that would be, if you're looking for price, go do business with them. If price is what you're searching for, you'll never win that argument on price. That is only for the individual that's presenting it. With you who have to work toward it, work with it, it's not going to work. What you do have to show is, well, I don't care about their price, I don't know about their price, it doesn't matter what their price is. Let me show you why the dollar that you will spend with me is of value. Then you go into your value proposition. Then you go in to show a return on resource investment. That's the value. It's not how little you can pay for something. That's why I wouldn't be very good at selling nuts and bolts, because there are zillions of nuts and bolts available, and I'm sure you can drive the price of nuts and bolts down to very, very bare minimums. Excuse me for using your name, Bob. Okay, second question. Can you articulate your brand clearly and concisely? This writing is so small. Without hesitation when asked. If you can't, learn how to do it. It's your brand. It's incumbent upon you to be able to communicate that brand in clear terms, in concise terms, in simple terms. Brian Tracy says it best: clarity, simplicity. Those are the keys to communication. And you have to be able to articulate that. You have to be able to communicate that. That's what marketing is. Oh! Can your employees and or friends correctly describe to you what your branding strategy is? The other side of that question is that they can't. They're not your friends. And if they're your employees and they can't, shame on you. Shame on you if your employees can't articulate what your brand is, because your employees represent your front line. Your front line to the marketplace. And if they can't communicate what your brand is, front line's not communicating. Who's going to understand? Who's going to know? Does the message your brand expresses inspire loyalty and trust among your current customers? Interesting question. At that point, to demonstrate the answer to that question is when you use your customers as references. Hey, call Joe up. Hey, call Mary up. If I'm going to answer that question, you know what the answer is going to be. Why don't you call them up and ask them that same question and see if the brand that I represent, see if they can articulate that brand. I hope they can. You know what? And if they can't, you tell me, because I'm going to go back and I may need to re-educate them. And if they can't articulate what my branding message is, I'm going to ultimately lose them as a customer to a brand that they can clearly articulate. Question number 5 and our last question of the day. Does the message your brand expresses attract and comfort new clients? Comfort them. Please, give me another cover. Give me a protective cover. It's cold outside. Does the message your brand expresses attract and comfort new clients? The answer to that question better be yes. Typically, new clients are the lifeblood. You have to satisfy, manage, help grow your existing customers. That's the value you bring to the relationship, to the business relationship. That's what's going to attract new customers, if that's what you need. That's going to be it for today, my friends. Thank you. Thank you for the almost 2,000 of you who came to share your time when you have so many options of how to use your time. I am indeed honored that you chose to spend them with me. And it's incumbent upon me to give you at least one good idea that you can take away from the time that you spent with me today. And if you spent a lot of time with me today, oh boy, we're now approaching 2 hours. It's been a while since I've done this much yakking. If I haven't given you something of value, please let me know so that I can bring something of value to you. My name is SmallBizDavid, and thank you once again for your time today. Please register to become a member of David's Barter community. No cost. Create for yourself a complimentary community marketing profile. If you need some help in creating that profile, go to my profile, which you'll find at, or you can just search SmallBizDavid, you'll get to my page. I don't know, that'd be interesting to see where you get if you do SmallBizDavid. But anyways, go to my page, my first page. My first landing page was davidsbarter.com//SmallBizDavid, and read my community marketing profile at the lower left-hand side of the page. Then be one of the 10,000 entrepreneurs who will have a complimentary landing page in our community to use, to trial, to test the social marketing, social network technology that has worked so very well for us. Just do what I do. Just follow what I do. Do it with your intellectual property, your product, your service. If it works for me, there's absolutely no reason why it shouldn't work for you. I'll see you tomorrow live at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time at stickham.com. Or if you can't be there live, you certainly can catch it at YouTube. YouTube.com/SmallBizDavid. Better yet, become a registered member of the community, and every day I post my YouTubes on our community bulletin board, which is not up on the screen right now. It will be, I think, if I do this. It will be if I think I do this. One way to do it. Now, on our community board, I've done so many pages today that they just keep on coming. Our community bulletin board, every day, our newest YouTubes are posted, so you can look at them, read them, study them while you're in the community, get the small business keywords of the day, make them work for you. Thank you, and we'll see you soon.